what's going on, all my gamers, all my Wuthering Waves gamers? So, I have just finished, I ended up finishing 1.1 in the last stream that I did, and I wanted to talk about it. Now, this will be getting a little bit into spoiler territory, so if you haven't finished it, I recommend you going and playing it for yourself, telling me how you enjoy it. I, for one, had a pretty good time with it, so I'm just going to first get into the technical parts of the 1.1 update that happened for me personally, because I know a lot of people had not really a lot of problem with it, especially people with like better PCs and stuff like that. The game ran perfectly fine for them. But for me, it would take me at least, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes to load into the game. It was really obnoxious to the point where I didn't even really feel like logging into Wuthering Waves. As soon as I got in, I did my dailies. I'm like, all right, cool, that's close enough. Please, I better double check what I have to do, because if I have to load this game back up, it's gonna take an ass load of time. So, luckily, 1.1 seems to have fixed a lot of the optimization issues for me personally. So, I can load in the game. I'm not, booting up the game, getting into the loading screen, leaving for 5 minutes, clicking log into the game, and as soon as it logs me in, I can go have like the rest of my day and come back and then finally play. And another thing is the echoes cost. Now, I don't actually know myself how well the echo difference in cost is, because I haven't done a tacit field yet, and also I didn't start looking for echoes until now in 1.1, because I just finished the 1.0 story, and you kind of need that to get to the Dreamless, where you can finally get your data bank level 20. Now, we could actually we can segue from there into 1.1. Now, this is just a nitpick from me, but I was really annoyed that you actually couldn't immediately start farming your echoes. So as soon as you get into 1.1, you'll notice that the whole world is basically, or the whole area of Mount Firmament, I keep calling it Firmine, that I actually don't remember what it's called. You go into the mountain area and everything is stuck in the world. And I don't mean like stuck within the world of the game. I mean like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, a world though, because everything is just frozen. Now, that is a bad thing, because you can't actually farm anything, because when everything is frozen, nothing dies. So you actually have to go through the 1.1 story, like I said, spoiler alert, and then finally, once you finish the story, things will begin to move, time will return to itself, and you can finally start farming your echoes. Anyways, now into the story itself. I actually, when I saw Abby, I was like, fuck, no, please, bro, no, not like this. I was like, this is going to be another Paimon. Please let me leave. I don't want to be here. But I actually really enjoyed Paimon. I actually really enjoyed Abby. I enjoyed Abby's voice acting. Shout out to Hexjuice. She did a great job. And I really thought that Abby was pretty cute. Little chunky, little fat guy. I just wanted to like pinch his little tummy. It was cute. I really liked it. I thought that was a really good part of it. Now, from the beginning, there was like 2 points of the story in which they repeated, like a Hoyoverse game, where they repeated what they said, and it happened with Abby, and it happened when you were talking to Jinshi, when you finally meet up with her again, about your plan. You repeat the whole entire thing with Abby like twice, and you do it with Jinshi, I think another two more times, like your plan. So at that point, it's like, why? Those are the only parts that really stand out to me, because those are the parts that took me out of the story. Until then, I was locked in. I was all the way in. I was 100% locked into the story, and I was really enjoying it. I thought the story for 1.1 was really, really good. And one thing that I feel like they improved a lot in, especially the Rover and Yang, I almost called her just straight Yang, like it was Ruby. Yang is the voice acting. The voice acting significantly improved in this one. Rover doesn't sound like an AI voice anymore. I thought she sounded like an AI voice in 1.0. Oh no, go get them. It was awful. But Rover definitely the female Rover VA definitely came into her own a little bit more into this one. It still got a little bit ways to go, but you can kind of feel the improvement. It's not as AI anymore. And Yang Yang, she kind of gets into her role a little bit more. She is still soft. She's still that soft spoken, slow talking girl, but I think that's just her character. So it flows better when she talks. It's not. It doesn't drag, I guess. I don't know. She used to sound like she dragged, and it sounded like she was about to fall asleep. This time, she actually does have the whole quiet girl thing going, and it's going really well. I thought the story was at a pretty good length because this is the first update story. So it's a 1.1 story, and this is after your 1.1 chapter 1 through 6. So after this, all the update stories are going to have to be a certain length because that's all you're going to get for that patch. So for a patch story, it was a pretty good length. It was about 4 hours long. I didn't know it was going to be that long. I thought I've been trained by Honkai Star Rail, so I thought it was going to be an 8 hour long story for some reason where I learn about nothing. Where I have to sit through Adventurine's stupid backstory. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I have my own bone to pick with Honkai Impact's story. I still liked it. Don't get me wrong. I like Honkai Impact, or Honkai Star Rail, but still. This was a pretty good length of a story, and it all seemed to flow pretty well, aside from those two parts where I was talking about. The story was pretty good, and I thought Chang Li stole the story, mostly because I couldn't look at anything else because her breasts were in the way. Her tits literally take up the whole screen. There was like literally nothing I could do. I tried not to stare at them, and then they stared back at me. They looked at me first, chat. I don't know. It's not my fault. Okay? And then you actually get to play as Chang Li early, and I thought that was really cool. I thought her kit was really sick, and I'm going to get her. You also get to play as Jinshi, and Jinshi is stupidly broken. I actually had to pull for her because of how broken I think she is, and so I have Jinshi now. I actually got her at the end of the story, like perfectly timed. I finished the story and I pulled from the asteroid I got, and I got Jinshi. Now there's some things that I like to nitpick about the story for Jinshi specifically. I really thought that it would have been cooler to have more scenes after the Jure fight where she was in her dragon install state. You can kind of see the scales appear on her sometimes throughout the story, but it really wasn't like her dragon install until you're in the actual fight. And the thing about the boss fight is, yes, you fight a Jure who's level 100, but you also get a Jinshi who's fully powered at level 90. So the fight was laughably easy, but at the same time I kind of liked it. Like it seemed pretty cool. You beat Jure, and then Jinshi gets her second awakening, I believe. Is that, if that makes sense? I really thought, and this was only something that would have made me happy because I'm a Guilty Gear nerd, if after she got her second awakening, she would have permanently stayed in a sort of dragon install state with her horns and her scales. I thought that would have been cool. That would have made me happy, but overall, I enjoyed this patch. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10, I think. It was a good time. Now, this is just story-wise. I have not explored the area because I'm just talking about this post-finishing it, right? So I haven't actually explored the area. I don't know how hard I know how hard the enemies are. These enemies are a little too strong for me. But I guess they're expecting you to have a little bit more of your character's build. I don't even have echoes for my characters. So take what I say about the difficulty about this game with a grain of salt. I will be getting in there and farming these echoes as soon as I can so I can get my data bank to 21 so I can freely farm and I will never get another 4-piece again. Anyways, or not another 4-piece, another 4-star piece again. But those were my thoughts. How do you feel about 1.1? Does anyone else like Changli? I'm sure everybody else loves Changli, and they're just chat. They're in chat. Even when they're not on screen, they're the whole screen. You know what I mean? Anyway, don't worry about it. Anyways, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.